Lucas get back out there this week?
Not today. It's still kind of day by day, and we'll see where he's at.
Carolina seems to be a much improved team based on its record, but this is still a game situated in the schedule right after the Aaron Rodgers game, right before Monday night game with the Eagles. How much of a concern? How do you make sure?
I'm not worried about it. We've got enough to worry about just within ourselves, and a lot of growth in front of us. If we want to play our best football, we should only be worried about today and this game, and nothing else outside of that.
When you went back and watched the film, how did Devonte look in his first game back from the knee?
I thought he played pretty well.
Was it a challenge? I know we did.
Just curious your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought he played well. He was moving around well. He played physical. So we're lucky to have him back.
I know we talked about the quarterback situation with the Cardinals a couple weeks ago with the uncertainty there, but this is like a totally different style of quarterback. What sort of challenges it go from Andy Dalton to Bryce Young?
Well, I mean, Andy's got a lot of ball underneath his belt. He's played a long time in this league, and then I think Bryce. I really think the turning point you could argue was a couple years ago in our game when he went off in the second half. They battled back, and we made a couple plays down the stretch to win the game. But I think that kind of got him going. I know he had a little setback, whatever maybe last year, and then he really got going. So he's obviously a very talented quarterback. I think he can do a lot of things with his legs, just either manipulating the pocket or creating off schedule. And I think he's got some weapons he can throw to now.
What are the prospects for Lloyd returning anytime soon?
No, I wouldn't count on that anytime soon.
Is Wicks going to be able to practice today?
He will not practice today.
Without Lucas, JJ's played a bunch, and obviously he makes a TFL every game, basically, it seems like. What have you thought of the way he's stepped in?
Yeah, he's done a great job. The one the other night was a 5-yard loss when they were moving the ball. So he always seems to make some impact plays. I love how his style of play, just tough, gritty. You're going to get everything out of him.
How did Josh come out of the game with the calf?
In my conversations with him, pretty good.
How much do you feel like it was limited in his ability to kind of have the usual burst that he has?
I saw the burst. We got to just do a better job around him, making sure that he's got premium looks. Some were some play calls, others were just we didn't block the right people, and it's going to be hard to run the ball whether you're mistargeted or you don't get a block on the perimeter. There was a situation where we didn't insert on a safety, and it's right at the point of attack. So I don't care what back's back there. It's hard if you're not all targeted right.
How do you plan on handling the kicking reps this week?
McManus will kick today.
To Ryan's question about the run game, and this is a simpleton question by me, but how is it concerning that you guys are blocking the wrong guys here in week 9, or is that kind of an easier said than done thing sometimes?
No, it's always a concern if you have mental mistakes. It's not like there are a ton of them, but when they show up, yeah. And typically, I would say in a normal NFL game that some of that happens, especially if you're motioning a lot. Just how defenses react to that. But you got to make sure you pass that communication along. Certainly, there's challenges when you're on the road to doing that versus when you're at home. So hopefully we can get all that stuff cleaned up and we can get this run game going a little bit.
And what determines how you're going to play Morgan and Ryan? Is it just how they practice during the week, or is there more?
Yeah, it's competitive situation.
I mean, some weeks you've just gone with, a couple of weeks ago you went with Morgan almost the entire time, and then you come back with Ryan. Is that a reflection of how practice went that week? Is it
I think it's everything. It's practice. It's the game. Certainly matchups could fall into that as well.
Man, I know you talked about obviously wanting to get to playing your best football and all that, and there's been the ups and downs. Emotionally, from a play caller standpoint, how annoying is it to go 3-0?
It's very annoying. No, it's frustrating. And it's frustrating when there's opportunities there and you don't convert. And so, but third down, there's a reason that most teams, every team in the league right now is under 50%. So it's less than a 50% chance you're going to convert. And it's just in those third and manageable situations, you got to come through.
I imagine Rashawn's benefited at least in part on with Micah's presence and how that's affected the way teams have attacked y'all. But just what's the growth you've seen in for Sean and Archie this year? He's already got his set total match from last year.
Yeah, he's done a great job of maximizing his opportunities. I think he's playing tough, he's playing hard, and I think all those guys collectively, they all play off one another. And you know, it's hard for one guy just to do it all on their own. That's why you need, typically, if you got 4 guys rushing, you need them rushing as one, and so they can all play off one another. And I think they've been doing a good job. I think that rapport has been growing week by week.
Jordan won Player of the Week today. What is it? Have you ever seen anything quite like 20 in a row by a quarterback?
I can't say that I've been a part of that, so I don't think, to my knowledge. And what's funny is, like in game, I had no idea, to be honest with you. It just, matter of fact, the PR guy for the Steelers told me after the game we go back to Notre Dame, and he was doing a really good job of doing his job. So he gave me a heads up, and I knew it was going well, but I guess in the moment I didn't realize it was going that well.
Matt, what was your reaction though for him getting that award for Jordan, and then also just to kind of see that externally, you know, people seeing him and kind of what he's doing here?
Yeah, I think he's done a hell of a job, and I think, you know, you could have argued that Tuck could have gotten that thing as well, but I think that's a great thing for our team. Obviously, when your quarterback is playing really good football, it's good for everybody. So,
for you to just kind of blindly not even realize that he had grown 20 in a row, what does it say about his growth in the maturity standpoint that you can just be like, oh wow, that's something that he just does without even realizing?
well, it's a credit to all 11 on the field. I mean, you can't do that if your line's not picking up pass protection. Certainly the backs are a part of that, and then ultimately whoever he's thrown to, those guys either winning their one-on-ones or just making plays on the ball, because there are a couple of those that certainly guys made plays for him, which is to be expected. So we've got a lot of guys that we can get the ball to and that we have a lot of confidence in. But yeah, he was in the zone.
The deep one to Watson was a hell of a throw, but what was the decision on that one?
That's one of those where you're like, no, yes. I believe on that play, I was watching Rome, and he was getting tugged on, and I saw the flag, so I don't know if he saw it and just threw it up. I think he was more focused on the safety and saw how low the safety was, but that's I would say that's just the trust that he has in Christian Watson that he's going to go make that play for him.
Matt, we ask you about targets every week. You've had offenses where 10 guys catch the football.
You guys never talk about targets.
Only every other week. Yeah. 10 guys catch
Only
the
every
football.
other hour.
Cow. You've had offenses where guys catch 10 guys catch passes in a game. You've had offenses where you've had like a go-to guy. What decides what kind of offense that's going to be? Is it depth? Is it having that guy? Like what's the deciding?
What would you guys like it to be? That's what I want to know. I want to know what would be ideal in your guys' world to allow us to, not have to answer these questions every week.
I'm not the expert. I just
Okay. Yeah, I think it's when you have a lot of confidence in everybody, what you do is you try to, first of all, you're always, at least the way we do it, is we're always trying to attack the scheme first and foremost. And then from there, when we decide what plays, draw up well or have answers for whatever it is that we feel like we potentially could face, then you start plugging in the players. And I think it's important when you have a lot of guys that you have a lot of confidence in, that you want all those guys to have opportunities or feel like they have some opportunities within the game plan that they get excited about. Now, it's impossible to get all those plays called, so that's where you kind of go a little bit off feel. All right, what are they playing versus us, and what's the best way to go attack that? And then you got to hit some of these coverages for the ball to go where it's intended to go. If they Rolodex or if they do something a little bit different, then the quarterback needs to read out the play, and wherever the ball goes, it goes. So I just want our quarterback to continue to do what he's doing and being the facilitator out there and doing a great job of reading with his feet and getting through progressions, and then the expectation of the receivers and tight ends or running backs is to be in their spot when they're supposed to be there. So
It's worked out pretty well both ways. You have that one guy that you focus on, or if you spread it around, right? Well, when is it in your mind that a guy reaches that level in this league, whether it's with you or another team?
well, I think every situation is a little bit different. The more guys you have, the more you're going to you want to try to give everybody some touches. So, and I think we're pretty fortunate. I think we're one of the deepest teams, in my opinion, in the league, where we feel like we got a lot of guys that we can get the ball to and that they're going to go make plays.
Matt, when you're getting a ton of two shell coverage, like maybe you did against Pittsburgh, how is it that you're successful throwing the ball? I mean, you don't like to throw against two shell, right? I mean, you'd rather just run it. But what was the success, reasons for success in that situation?
Well, I think,
Replicate that.
yeah, I think it's just staying on schedule, and that encompasses your run game and making sure you're staying ahead of the sticks. Because I would say typically in most games, when you get to third and shorts, you're going to see more single high, more man, and that's when you can try to exploit that. But every situation is a little bit different. But I think ultimately, no matter what you're seeing is, and if teams are going to play us in soft shell, and we got to be content in taking, whether it's a check down or a quick game or whatever it might be, and just, being very disciplined in taking those throws. And then it comes down to the fundamentals and the detail of what you do with the ball. Whether it's, the ball placement's always a critical factor in terms of if a guy's got his back turned to the defense and he's sitting down on a stick route or whatever, what shoulder the quarterback's painting that ball on. And then the receiver, now you have to trust the quarterback. You got to drop step, get in your shadow, and then hopefully you can either, we call it C2 split 2. So if you got two defenders, converging on you, you try to split them and maximize those gains. I think that's critical in order to get teams to come out of that soft defense. I mean, we had a couple throws the other night. We threw stick a bunch of times, and we're hitting flat routes, and we hit tuck in the flat, and that goes for 20 some odd yards. So I don't know if I answered your question well enough, but
Well, is that, that as good as you played it? I mean, is that what you need to do every time? What you did on Sunday, is that kind of the answer to that type, is being patient?
well, I think just if you're getting completions, teams will more than likely start to get out of that. But I also think if you're not able to run the ball in those situations, they're more apt to stay into the two safety defenses so they don't give up the big play. And Carolina does a heck of a job of that. I think they're fifth in the league right now in the fewest explosives. So we know we're going to have to just be disciplined and deliberate, and they do a good job at Jarrow's, as good as anybody in this league, at just giving you some challenging looks and mixing up the calls.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.